Welcome back to the channel. All right, Battlegrounds Season 22, the anniversary season for Battlegrounds in MCoC. The first week is over, and currently I'm ranked number 72 in the world. I'm very, very proud of that. It's the highest ranking I have ever achieved. Now, why am I showing that to you? I want you to see that because I've learned a lot in this first week. I have played a ton. I have learned what champions work, don't work. Tips and tricks are going to help you when you get to that gladiator circuit so you can go in, jump in, and take off right from where I have learned. Now, I want to show you this. Now, there's timestamps in the description. If you want to jump straight to the fights, I get it. Go for it. Have fun. Do it. It's a good time. But before you do, I urge you to stick around because I want you to see this, especially if you're not someone who usually pushes Battlegrounds, but it's the anniversary season. There's a lot of rewards and you want to get them. Look at this. You're going to see how streaky this is. Battlegrounds itself is streaky by its very nature, the RNG and that sort of thing. That's why playing a lot is so helpful, not just in getting better at it, but in balancing out that RNG. But this meta in particular, the crit me meta, look at all of these losses, a lot of them on stream. We had a good time with it, had some fun. Joel did me the honor of kicking my butt 3-0 in a Battlegrounds tournament, right? That's just how this works. So I'm showing this to you because if you win a lot, that means you're probably doing something right. But if you lose a lot, it could just be RNG going. It's not that you're bad at the mode. It's not that you're bad at the game. Yeah. But there is probably something you can learn from it. And I really hope this video showing you the tips, tricks, and champions help you in this meta and in metas to come. Let's jump to it. All right, we've got so many fights to get to. We need to jump straight into this. And of course, Wolverine Weapon X, got to be the guy we start with. Now, I know you're thinking like, hey, you can't bleed, right? And I'll admit, that's what I thought when this all started, then kind of got forced to use him in a matchup and was like, oh my good God, this is wild, this is incredible, this is crazy. Now here's the thing, you're gonna see this, and we're talking about themes in this, right? Champions are gonna work out really well for you, because I don't know every champion you have, but you can use this and you can take it and you can do really well yourself too. One of the things I was trying to do is like right there is utilize his unstoppable mechanics. So champions that have that, they're going to give you the opportunity to get that guaranteed intercept. It's like a counter punch. It's one of the reasons why Juggernaut is so good. We just always think of Juggernaut. I've got another champion coming up that I know a lot of people think isn't that great, but you're going to see he's doing really, really well and a great defender at that, just like Wolverine Weapon X. I've also noticed he's been doing well defensively for me because of the same thing. I think people are going for intercepts. You're incentivized to going for intercepts. But if you fight Wolverine Weapon X and just one little slip up, or if the AI decides to throw a curveball your way, which, let's be honest, is pretty common these days, the AI is basically a knuckleball pitcher, you're dead, right? You're absolutely dead. Now, here's the other thing, and I'm going to put out actually a full video on this. Hopefully you've seen it. It's Wolverine Weapon X is the best counter for Nightcrawler. It's the same mechanic, or it's a similar mechanic to what makes him so good for Bullseye, right? You can see our rage stacks just won't go down, meaning when they hit us, we're just going to heal back up. You can see I was trying to be a little bit patient. Right here, you're going to see me pull off again to let myself heal up. Right there, I'm also going for intercepts, hoping that Nightcrawler will jump on in, but Wolverine crits enough, especially when he's in rage, that the damage was immense and phenomenal. A lot of these champions that are evading or have these defense mechanics like that, their health pool's not that large, so Wolverine just takes them down, even though he can't bleed them. It's pretty awesome. All right, so we're moving on. We've got one more fight. Again, evading champions. Now, this one's not going to be quite as pretty as the others, and that's because I make a little mistake, but I wanted to keep this in here to show you, because these are defenders you're going to be facing, right? Not as many people running ham, because his attacking is honestly not as great, but can be a really, really tough defender. You know, I wasn't able to speak to my opponent. They're very good. I think we matched in Mysterium, if I recall correctly. So they're obviously a good player, and they've probably had some success with Spider Ham. And here's the big mistake I make is I should have just kept going. You're going to see me pull off here because I didn't have the guaranteed crits by getting an intercept. I should have just finished it off like I did in I think it was the Bullseye fight or the Nightcrawler fight. Would have totally come out, probably gotten a crit, would have been fine. Worst case scenario, I end up in the exact same situation I am here. Might as well have at least given myself a chance. But you can see I'm letting some healing come back in. We go ahead, we crit, and we finish off that Spider Ham. So with a little bit smarter play, you can get an even better score, right? And that's there's going to be some common themes. Like I said, one is going to be utilizing those intercepts. Oh, here we go. Okay. Bishop versus Electro. I know a lot of you are like, what? And I showed this to some amazing players, and some of them are like, interesting. Some of them had already known and what have you. But my Discord server helped me figure this out. And I think it was Zuzu or Misery. It was Reed. I'm sorry if I don't recall exactly who it was, and I apologize. So many helpful people on that server. Those three are often always helpful, so that's why they come to mind. But you can see what we're doing here is we're just basically utilizing the fact that we're not going to be critting that much as we build up to 2 bars of power, get all of those prowess coming in. We use our striker for the intercept. We'll show you that more and more in this one. The one thing I want to point out is it's not, I don't know how to say, it's not as reliable right now. I don't know what's going on, but you want to get the intercept, and then you just get the massive SP2 with Bishop. Remember, one of the things with Bishop has always been, is he going to crit? Well, when he has guaranteed crits, that's what happens. I'm sure my opponent was like shocked. Like, what the hell just happened? Where did that score come from? I actually had it done to me, and my Discord server, like I said, helped me reverse engineer it. It's not just Electro, right? Electro has been a champion that you throw in decks. I have a rank 5 ascended Electro too. You can really trap someone, right? You know they're going to take damage. They know they're going to take damage. You just got to come out of the fight and not mess up on your side of it. So here's another champion. Not as many big skilled defenders in this meta. And the reason is a lot of them have larger health pools, or they have crit resistance or something like that, like Killmonger, right? Well, Korg is still in there. He's still someone you're seeing. And you can see Bishop is going to be excellent form. Now, again, I said I was going to leave in the fights where I have a mess up, because another theme I want to show you is, I want to talk to you about is, don't give up. Do not give up. I showed you my win streak, my loss streak over. There's huge ones, just so you know. I tilted bad today. I faced someone who was clearly modding, someone who almost definitely was modding, and then followed up by someone who either had the best fights of their life or they were also modding. They've all been reported. It's fine. It's okay. The problem is I tilted bad. And I fell all the way down to Mysterium, I think 2 at some point, and back up in Celestial 6 right now. I was able to play a little bit, but I had to make these videos. The point of all of that was, don't give up. You saw I missed my opportunity. I threw my SP2 in the rocks of Korg there. And I was like, just stick with it. Remember the thing I'm going to advise everyone to do. Just stick with it. You never know what's going on the other side, right? Now, I had placed an Enchantress. She's a brutal, brutal defender. So that's, you know, whatever, what have you. We're all going to mess up to Enchantress. But that can happen. You can see I ended up winning that. Now, moving on. More champions that can handle these damage back characteristics for you too. Remember, dust light attacks do not make contact. So you can see we're very easily able to punish Attuma's heavy there. I remember DLL even called that out in his Spotlight with Context, that they really went through and looked at her animations so that she could punish the heavy with a double light. So we're just going up. We've got our crit here. Now, the thing is, I probably could have thrown my SP1. This was my first, honestly, my first fight with Dust in this meta. So I wasn't totally sure how great her damage was going to be. But when I saw this, you'll see it too. So we've heavy to trigger our Sandstorm. We do get a, come on, Attuma. I'm trying to line up an intercept. There we go. So we throw that, and you see just the SP2, how much damage it did. Remember, she gets a stun off of it. You can see my dust skills were pretty rusty. So if I had remembered that, I would have just thrown the SP1 right away. Probably could have triggered that all a lot earlier. I've seen really great players even have good results against like Bullseye, things like that, Electros, any champion with the damage back mechanic. She could be good for other champions too, but that'd be a really helpful one. It looks like my opponent had DC'd. I've played Fernando a few times. They've always been a great competitor. We've had fun. So I think I truly believe that he just disconnected there. Or they disconnected there. Now moving on, I want to show you some Nick Fury counters. Really tough defender, right? Got the 2 health pools, and because this is crit me, he's not going to take the damage in his second life like he's supposed to. So you actually do have to kill full 2 lives. It's kind of like made Nick back like he was when Battlegrounds first started. Now, if you're really, really good with Sunspot, what you can actually do is have the second part of that SP2 be when he's healing back up, and Inequity will kick in. I believe, yeah, it's Inequity, right? Despair, sorry. And he won't even heal back up. That's fine. Again, I wanted to show this to you because, one, this is the only fight I've had with Sunspot versus Fury. I haven't seen too many Furies. But also, that you can see you can still end up with a really good result, right? Again, just stick with it. Just stick with it. Go for those intercepts when you can, and you're going to get them often, and you're going to get great results. So moving on, I know this was our How to Fight Fury. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, I did win that one. Some of these I'm going to end up with great scores and still lose. because that's just the meta, right? Now, we are going to show you, I believe it's going to be Dani Moonstar here. I'm trying to track my own notes. Yes, good. I faced someone and they actually had Dani in their deck, and it surprised me because I had taken mine out and I realized, like, wait a minute, what the hell am I doing? She's going to be phenomenal for Nick Fury, and some of these other troublesome skill defenders I'm talking about, she could probably get them down super fast. I've used her before in Crypt Me meta. So I put her back in, and you're going to see, again, some more Dani rust coming from me. Like, I love Dani. I've played her at rank 3 so many times, and the rust is going to come in. I'm going to forget that I want to get a guaranteed crit here. So remember, the big trick against Nick Fury here for Dani is you do not want him throwing the special once. If he throws a special once, he's going to give his tactical charges, and then he's not going to miss. It's a really bad time. It's not fun, and Dani really needs those misses to happen. So you don't want to let him throw the special ones. And then we want to get the special 2. I'm actually really glad I did that, because you're going to see I'm going to mess up here where I should have used my, I can't remember what it's called, but basically my miss mechanic to go in for an intercept of some sort or a punish, and then gotten the precision and killed him off, because Dani's crit rate is not good. We did not get a crit, in which case Nick Fury lived. As I've said, stick with it. Don't give up. Got a nice intercept. Her whole like marked passive death thing kicked in, and we were able to finish off Nick and end up winning that one. Again, Enchantress, tough defender. We've seen this theme a few times here, right, already, with Enchantress killing off some big old mean hulks. All right, now we move on. We're going to continue on with the tech champions. We're going on with Red Skull now. For me, Red Skull has still been very, very good. He's not as dominant offensively as he normally is, but part of why I love Red Skull, we've talked about this in other videos, is because he's still really good. He's got ways around it. This guy has tricks up his sleeve. Plus, he's a very good defender, right? And especially in a meta where people are wanting to try to intercept. One failed to intercept, they hit his block, and they have now not only failed their intercept, but they've taken damage, or if they really fail, he's going to hit him upside the head. But one of the things you can use here is the power drain. It helps you keep their power under control. I was playing very, very conservatively in this fight, but when they don't have power, you're more comfortable going for intercept also, and I hope I do it in this fight. You can use his unstoppable right there. Like I said, it's almost like I planned it. Remember, we talked earlier in this video about champions that have unstoppable effects give you the opening for the guaranteed crit, right, for that big precision. I lost that one. Well done to my opponent. Warlock's awesome. We're going to see Warlock later in this video, and I probably shouldn't have gone so conservatively if I had known what I now know, but you can see how well that works out. Additionally, Red Skull does have a heal block. I had a fight today where I literally forgot to put the heal block on Mister Sinister. I don't know why. And my opponent took advantage of that and beat me for it. So when you fight Mister Sinister with Red Skull, make sure you remember to land your heavy from time and again to refresh those heal blocks. The other thing to remember is that Red Skull is not a robot. So if Mr. Sinister throws 2 SB1s, if he gets those bleeds on you, he is going to transfer them over for that degen. But as you can see, we're A-okay. If you play it a certain way, you kind of take your time. It's going to be fight specific, right? Sometimes you're going to really want to go in, do your best, play super, super aggressively, and be, you know, risk it for the biscuit, as I just said. But you can keep going in, and you're going to see this SP2 with the guaranteed crit actually hits pretty hard. We're not getting all the shock damage, but we can still use the unstoppable mechanic there, go in for the close, and utilize our striker. Remember, the striker hits are going to count too, so you can use your striker to take advantage of the node, get that extra crit damage as well. I believe we're now going to move on to, Omega Sentinel. Now, my Omega Sentinel, I did switch up my strategy a little bit. If you catch me streaming or see if I do future videos on this, you're probably not going to see Omega Sentinel in my deck. It's not because she's not good. It's just, like I said, I switched up my deck strategy and my ban strategy. I also figured out some other ways to fight Domino, and hopefully, I know we're going to see them. I don't think it's this one, because at this point, I don't know why. I just hadn't fully realized you can actually sidestep Domino. So at this point, I was still going for the regular intercepts like you're seeing here. And Omega Sentinel is great for this. If you have a rank 3 Omega Sentinel, I've seen those floating around. They're pulling off really, really great results, especially if you're running recoil, which I'm obviously not at this point, and I'm still not. But I'm happy with Omega Sentinel. I wanted to show this, and you can see that she's a very, very good Domino counter. It's actually paining me a little bit to watch this because I'm now aware of how smoothly all the fights can go with the sidestep, because the sidestep actually does give you the credit for the intercept, and you get the precision, the guaranteed critical hits. But that's fine. You can see, did this really look like it did not go well? We did well. We did well. We did fine. And now we will move on. So if you have a Mega Sentinel, you can throw it in your deck, have a really good time. Now we're going to move on to Warlock. Warlock has been probably the best tech champion that I've been running into, as far as like my opponents having, and then also my versatility on my side. Remember, he has that whole mechanic, I think, with his arm reps, where like he literally can't be crit by specials. But he's been phenomenal. Haven't faced a lot of kitties, but here we are, you know, up in Mysterium, up in Celestial. Someone had one. I fought them. And one of the reasons why he is so good, even more than he normally is in Battlegrounds, is his high crit damage. I believe it's the modifier is the correct term for it. Watch what his SB2 does. Now, Kitty does not have a large health pool, and we do need to get this SB2 in before the node goes away. But she, like, literally, her health bar just disappeared in one special 2. Not a massive health pool to be in. I understand. I know. But this is without recoil. And, you know, I think she could have had more, and we would have been just fine. Warlock had plenty of room to go. And then now we're going to see him against Domino. Again, this is before I was aware that you could get credit for the sidestep. I'm almost positive. So I'm going to take quite a bit of crit fail damage in this fight. I think I end up even losing it. This is a rank 3 Domino. If I recall, the SIG was actually not bad. So I'm still going for the regular crits. Again, at some point in this video, I know I put it all together. You will see me do the sidestep. Oh, there we go. I actually am doing the sidesteps. That makes me feel a lot better. So there you go. If you sidestep Domino, some people call it a backstep. The AI is really good at it right now for some reason. But if you can do it too, you can use it to your own advantage. There we go. Just exactly like that. The spacing from all the champions is a little bit different. I was trying to do it with Juggernaut the other day, and I should not have. I should have just used his Unstoppable. The spacing with Warlock, it's just really, really natural, easy to use. You can do it and have a good time. You can do that with almost any champion in the game. And I'm saying almost because I haven't tested every champion, but all the champions I've tested, you can eventually get it. It's just a matter of getting the spacing right. Now we're moving on to Cosmic Ghost Rider, who no one really needs me to tell them, hey, you can use your Cosmic Ghost Rider in this meta, right? It crits and stuff like that. What I did want to show you is I've had 2 people try Cosmic Ghost Rider versus my 7-star rank 3 Mister Sinister, SIG like 130 something, I believe now. And they've both died, or they've both failed to kill him. They've had a bad match. Okay, I don't remember specifically everything about it. I don't know if it's not possible. It's only 2. It's a very small sample size. And I think one of them ended up getting a phone call or something, they told me. But I wanted you to see that 6-star rank 5 Cosmic Ghost Rider can take Mister Sinister in this meta. You might need to land an Intercept to help yourself out, but he can do it. I don't even know if you need to land the Intercept. He's got the heal block and all that stuff, so he can definitely do it. And then, as I've said, Warlock has been someone I've seen time and time again in decks. I kind of wish I had him at rank 3. He's been phenomenal. He's been great, taking out a lot of really tough defenders like Dust and obviously Domino and things like that. And then the other thing that he is he's a versatile dual threat in modes like this. But what I want to show you is, remember, a lot of times we think about Cosmic Ghost Rider, we think about him turning off Red Skull, we think about him turning off Killmonger, right, because they're villains, and he gets that armor break right away. Well, he has the armor breaks already. I know a lot of you knew that, but I just want to make sure you see it, how good he is, how versatile. He's well worth having in your deck, so make sure you do that. Now we are moving on to, I believe, the Photon portion of this video. She's continued to be one of the best dual threats by far for me. The offensive use, it's very, very similar to what we've seen from her before, right? We're not going to see the 52, 53,000 scores, 51, but she's someone you can place on defense. The really, really great attackers for her have been Mantis, of course, right? Mantis has been very good. Masacre, if well played. But I've had people mess up to my Photon with both of those great attackers, right? And you can turn around and go ahead and use her on offense. Now, one of the reasons she's been so great is Man-Thing has been a tremendous problem, right? We do have a Man-Thing fight here. Good. She's actually one of the better options for Man-Thing. There's a lot of rank 2 Man-Things running around out there. If you see a rank 3, you might just want to ban it unless you have one yourself. The other reason why she's been really valuable is for these odd interactions where someone ends up with like an America Chavez, as you're seeing right here, right? She has that passive petrify. You see that going up, right? That's just really helping you out a little bit. Just control some of the power gain that can accumulate with America Chavez. What you're going to have to figure out on your own is how far do you want to let her charges go, her being Photon, before you trigger her damage mode, basically what you're seeing right there. Do you want to try to get all 5 Furies? Do you not? She has great closing damage. And then additionally, she's placing so many debuffs. She's so tanky that I'm not going to tell you that a failed intercept's not going to hurt at all, but it's going to hurt a lot less than a less tanky champion. So if and when you do make a mistake, it doesn't hurt nearly as bad because Photon is so incredibly tanky, especially if you've spec'd into Inequity. Now, if you haven't fought Man-Thing, I realize that you're going to watch this and be like, I cannot believe you put this in a tips and kind of like a highlights and how-to video. And trust me, I get it. But then when you get into this meta and you start facing some rank 2 and rank 3 Man-Things, you're going to realize this is a really, really good score. The other options for Man-Thing that are pretty good is Titania. I've seen people do good things with Hulk. I've seen people get pretty lucky, I think, I don't know, with Sunspot and Masacre. Some things that really have to go your way. Same situation here, though, right? I've been trying to get the full 5 Furies. There you go. You saw the mistake that I made. She's so tanky. Man-Thing doesn't hit that hard either, to be honest. But she's so incredibly tanky. We lost like 5% health. We're going to be okay. And then go in for these intercepts, right? Utilize her unblockable there. That came in really, really well for me. Utilize her miss mechanic and get in there. And just go for it, right? I mean, Man-Thing's AI just feels particularly hit and miss too. For him being willing to just go passive on you kind of fits. I mean, that's a big guy made of mush, so kind of makes sense, I guess, in some ways. But we got a pretty decent score there. Again, I know that doesn't look impressive if you haven't fought one. If you have, you know, you get it, you understand. So now we're moving on to Havoc, and this is one of my best examples of like, don't give up and what can happen in a Battlegrounds match and why I'm including fights like this. This is a rank 3 Korg. And, you know, Havoc has the non-contact mediums. Also, we're missing out on a large chunk of Havoc's damage, right? That damage over time effect that he can get. I can't remember what's called, like feedback or something like that. And you land the heavy and the whole thing. We're not going to be able to do that. But he's not bad for Korg, right? His mediums are non-contact, and then we can go and do our light attacks. Plus, he's going to get the prowess damage. So if I play this better, I could line up a really nice big SP2. But Havoc also has the passive power gain, which you're seeing happening right now. And I started to get really, really worried about getting pushed to my special 3. I should have just pulled back. Oh, I did. Oh, that's right. That's right. And I went for the striker intercept, and I'm glad that happened. I forgot that happened in this fight in particular. To me, that looked like an intercept. We got credit for what felt like the exact same timing earlier in the video. This time we didn't. That's why I told you it's been really, really inconsistent. The other reason I did this is not just to show you that Havoc can take these fights. Remember, Electro, Attuma's champions that are giving damage back mechanics. Havoc could be a really good source for you because he's also a very good defender. I think he mitigates the damage of crits too. He does something to crits, which is why he's so good. But the other thing is don't give up, right? I clearly made a mistake. I messed up the timing. I've only, I think, landed one of the special 2s now. This fight should have been over. It would have been really easy to get down and be like, I've lost. Why am I still continuing? But I was like, no, we can do this. We got the intercept. We got the rack stacks off. We landed the special 2. It still obviously didn't kill, but we're going to go in. If we can just get like one little crit here, right? Like, we're going to set up this next intercept, mess up the special decks, still get the intercept, go in, finish off with the striker. There's no way we're winning this, right? There's just absolutely no way. It's over. We're dunzos. That's a really good player on the other side too, right? I've been facing them a lot. They happen to have a very bad matchup with Nova, which is part of what helped me stay strong and all of those things, because I knew I had Nova going for me. But just keep that stuff in mind. Just don't give up, particularly this meta. Wild stuff happens. We are now moving to the Luke Cage portion of today's video, and I've saved the 3 biggies for last. We've got Luke Cage, Masacre, and Wanda, right? And I will show all of them to you. There's other great champions. Titania has been phenomenal. You definitely want to have Titania in your deck as well, but these are the ones that just had a ton of highlight fights. So we're going up against Domino. And this is one of the things I've talked about in so many of my Luke Cage videos. And I am actually going to get out another Luke Cage video on, now that I finally awakened him, all the extra things, all the versatility, the aggressiveness of which you can play. It's been amazing. Some of them are going to be in this video here. But as you can see, we're utilizing the back step here to get our, there it is, right there. We get our guaranteed crits. And yeah, we took a little bit of damage there, but we finished off that Domino against a rank 3 Domino. You can draft someone like Luke, and then just however the draft unfolds, he's going to have someone he's going to at least be okay for. 48,000 rank 3 Domino. I'm pretty happy with that. Moving in, now we're going up against Destroyer. Destroyer has been one of my least enjoyable champions to fight. One of the main reasons is the Striker Intercept that I've been showing you is even more inconsistent with him. I have no idea why. I can't explain it. There's probably some spacing thing. I don't understand. I don't know. But we've got Luke Cage. So if we can get up enough of our exhaustions, and I would love to get an intercept. You see, I went for it, but that didn't work. So I don't know. And I'm going to go in, and this is a little bit dangerous. I am not advising you to necessarily do this, but I was in a situation where I needed to. I've now turned off the node, and that's why I'm saying I don't necessarily advise it. I'm not going to be able to get that precision from the node. But Luke, the man, the badass that he is getting enough just normal crits on his own that he is going to see me through on this. Which actually brings up a really nice chance to talk about another point. In some of these fights, you're seeing me run crit damage, and some of them you're seeing me run special damage, and some of them you're seeing me run just general crit. I've moved most of my attackers at this point onto crit damage. A few champions who are known for their specials, like I think Dust, I still have a special damage crit focus, because a lot of her damage is coming from the specials anyway. I'm less concerned if I get a crit on a basic attack without the precision sort of thing. I think you're going to have to test out and feel for yourself. As you can see, I'm having really good results from it. And sometimes when I don't have the node in my favor, I've still had my champions crit, and having that damage be done has been incredibly helpful. So your mileage may vary on this one. There you go. In that short talk, Luke just destroyed a rank 2 Ebony Maw. Again, in a lot of decks because of his whole miss mechanic on guaranteed critical hits, right, against non-science champions. Well, Luke is a science champion. We don't have an armor. We do not have an armor up. What are we doing? Fighting Havoc. We've already talked about how Havoc minimizes crit damage against himself too, right? Well, we've got an awakened Luke. I know I need this fight to go fast. You see, I'm going for the intercepts. I'm taking advantage of that awakened ability here. I'm going to use the Striker because we have the node, right? Try to force Havoc to his special 2. He's very nice. He throws it. Going to give us an opportunity to go for an intercept. We get it. Luke's intercept is so good. I love it. His medium intercept. His light's good too, but I love the medium. Got it. Throw this now. We're going to get a nice, big, beefy concussion. And this guy's pretty much done. He just doesn't know it yet. And even without the big precision from the node, Luke crits enough for us. Like I said, I knew we needed to go fast because his plasmas were going to build up. They were going to explode. So we even went for the wake-up intercept. And we finished that off. I actually see that there was an Odin versus Sinister. Maybe I didn't need to go that fast, but hey, it worked out. Now moving on. We're up against a rank 5 6-star Sig 200 Ascended Serpent. And if you haven't seen my Luke videos, you're like, dude, you're about to die. Why are you showing us that? Well, let's see what happens here. Remember, all these exhaustions are help reducing ability power rate as well. And we've landed our heavy to get up our debilitate, which is going to help all our debuffs stay up a little bit longer. Our Luke is awakened, so we can play even more aggressive now. Like if I had pushed Serpent to SB3, I would have been A-okay with it. But hey, it didn't happen, so we can go for intercepts. We're going to get up a nice big concussion. And even though that concussion was only 50%, that means I did have a chance. It's less than half chance to just completely turn off Serpent's immortality. It went in my favor. 29 seconds, 52,000 score for Luke Cage versus Serpent. Now going up against a rank 3 Dust, one of the tankiest defenders in the game. We don't have the ability to put incinerates on her. We're not going to be able to armor break her. We're not a tech champion that's going to get class advantage. None of those things that you would normally want when you're fighting a rank 3 awakened Dust. I guess the one thing we have going for us is that Luke is not placing bleeds, but Luke is just this guy. Like he's just him. Look at this. she's going to throw her special 2. And again, because he's awakened, we can play more aggressively. And his intercept is just so good. Like watching these videos back, I see his animation and how well it works. And it reminds me of when he was first in the game forever ago. And he used to catch me with this stupid ass quick light all the time. That's not the point of this video, though, is it? And so we're just going to go in and we're going to finish this off. In fact, the tail end of this fight, the last like 15 seconds, Dust has really prolonged it. We missed an intercept. This fight could have been over 20 seconds ago, which is pretty incredible because I'm pretty sure we're going to end up with a 48 to 49,000 score here. Yeah, 48-7. So Luke, you know, I'm putting out a video in about a week, and it's called The Book of Luke, and it's just going to be filled with stuff like this. It's insane. Rintrah is another champion that I'm seeing more of. And shout out to my opponent on this one. I was tilting hard. I had faced some of those clear modders earlier in the day. It was very, very frustrating, very annoying. And the cursed here, I don't remember exactly what it was, but they did some funny emoji things, and they were running recoil. They also trapped me in the second one. And it was just a matchup that I really enjoy, where someone's like, they're trying to win. They want to win. I want to win, but we're having a good time about it as we go. And, you know, Luke just helped see me through. I had a bigger deck, a bigger roster too, and things like that, and had the draft advantage as well. So shout out to the Cursed. I really appreciate that. Appreciated the fun matchup with them. But again, Luke, and the thing I want to point out is this fight's going to take a little bit longer, but Rintrah has actually been a champion I'm seeing more of in this meta. I think because of how his crit resistance, and then just his nature. He messes you up, right? Like you can see, I'm having to go back. I'm having to land these heavies now so I can get his mystical charges down. All of this nonsense, all my debuffs have fallen off. All of those things that I've been spending time building up, he has delayed. He's going to throw a special 2, and now the sparks are about to fly, right? He's at 60% health. And we had like 1 or 2 debuffs up, but now we're going in, we're going for it. We got our intercept, we got our critical hits, boom, bam, done. And when you get enough critical hits up, you get when you get enough debuffs up with Luke, you get a Sunder, which reduces the critical resistance of a defender all the way to 0. See, that's what I mean about the curse. Shout out to you, dude. I hope you're watching this and you heard that. Really fun, really fun. Love playing folks like yourself who want to win, who are good at the game, and can smile about it when it's over, no matter how it goes. We've now moved on to the Wanda portion. Oh my good God. People are good. I know it because I like to still try to read the comments as best I can in videos. And people are going to go ahead. Just tell me. Be like, see, I told you Wanda's the best. I told you don't rate her higher. And that's fine. You know what? Today, you're right. Okay. You got it straight from me. She should be higher on the tier list in crit me metas. You got it. You won. You're right. Egg is on my face. With the crit me meta, you too can take out a rank 3 Onslaught with your 6-star rank 5 ascended Wanda and get a score of 51,000. We're going up against this future Ant-Man who, if I recall correctly, when you nullify his armor ups, they turn into passives. But Wanda, I did let off the first armor up fall off on its own, right? That's something I like to do in certain matchups against him where I can't take advantage of the buffs. But you can see this happening. We are landing our intercepts. Plus, she power steals, which is really, really helpful when you, again, this is similar to like what we talked about with Red Skull. Why? Part of how flexible and great he is that if you block the hits, then they have less power, meaning you have more ability and chances to go for intercepts. So you're not worried about them throwing a special. Similar with Wanda, but also she stuns and she heals and she power locks, like you're literally seeing right now. And you can see the heal has kicked in and she's getting Mystic Dispersion. So we're getting bars of power and we just absolutely destroyed that champion. Still can't believe we took out the rank 3 Onslaught as fast as we did, but it is what it is. These are actually what happened. We will continue to move on here. Or was that it with Wanda? Oh, that was it. Wanda has done other incredible stuff. I don't know if I just decided the video was going long or what. She's been phenomenal. She's been amazing. People are using her to take out serpents and just like her utility is incredible. The thing about her is it is that signature ability and it is random. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. She is kind of flimsy, but if she lives, she has a chance to heal. So really don't give up if you make a mistake with her. All right, now we're moving on to my boy, Masacre. He's back. And I know some of you are like, it's Masacre. It's not Masacre, okay? I get it. I understand the confusion. I really, trust me, I do. but it's Masacre. Look at how it's spelled. Look at how Massacre is spelled in the English language. And then you can even go and look at the video Kabam did for this champion. He speaks Spanish. It's Masacre, okay? Anyways, moving on. What you want to see here is this is going to be the use of the special Intercept, right? Because Morbius has that whole miss mechanic when he dives, which is why you've seen him in some decks. It doesn't interact the same way, though, as the Destroyer does, and it doesn't seem to interact quite the same as Spider-Punk. I have no explanation for it, but you can use it. You can try it. It's great for a fight like this. And we're just getting started on Masacre as well. So here we go. We're going to move on to Titania, who's been a frequent defender. I don't think people are drafting her as defenders. I know I don't myself, but I know I've had rounds go. I've had matchups go where it makes sense to place her. One, she's not that untanky. If you look at that, she's got 379,000 health. That's pretty large health pool. Plus, she is going to go unstoppable and blockable and indestructible because you need to intercept her, right? Like right there. So one, you might make a mistake. Two, that buys time. If you don't finish the fight after the first one, she's going to get another one. So it's, again, the buying time. She's not a bad defender. When you draft her, keep that in mind as a thought. But we've got Masacre. And what you're seeing here, and you're going to see it in all of these fights, is when the defender has a debuff, and his special 2 hits the block, he's reducing their defensive ability accuracy by 50%. It keeps working out for me, which leads me to believe that I'm going to have a really bad run of luck. I think I've only had it not work once. This is why in a lot of my Masacre videos, I've talked to you about utilizing the special. If you need to cancel out a mechanic or something like that, like against Hercules, I will often go for the special 1 first, make sure I'm not ignited, I believe. And then you get up the disorient, and then those 2 actually stack, and you get up to the 100% defensive ability accuracy. I don't recall if I go for it here against Herc. I kind of want to see what I do here. It looks like I'm going straight to the SP2. Kind of, he didn't really give me an option to not, based on where the fight panned out. So it looks like I think I'm just going to go for it. Yeah, we got a nice chance for an intercept here. Going to throw that into his block. And so it basically, the defensive ability accuracy just cancels out his immortality phase. My understanding is it's basically like a flip of the coin, right? Because it's 50% and he's got a 100% chance to do it. I do have the fight didn't record. I'm not sure what happened. My phone deleted it. Where I actually took out a rank 3 Serpent and got like a 52,000 score. Now he wasn't awakened, so that obviously played a portion of it, but people are using Masacre to take out Serpent. The thing is, the Serpent has a 125% chance for his immortality, and Masacre, unless you get up the disorient first, is still only going to have a 50% chance. So the odds aren't really in your favor. And then we're going to be able to go in and do this exact same thing against Hulk. I'm scared to heck of getting just absolutely destroyed by that special 2. So I remember this. I was kind of starting to sweat because I feel like I'm going to lose my ignited bat. And I do need to keep that up for what we're going for here. But we got it. We got Hulk to throw his special. We had a debuff on. We were still ignited. And the other thing with Masacre, because I have made this mistake a couple of times, is make sure you have the whole special 2 finish before that precision goes. It doesn't count as far as like the start of the special. I thought it did, and then I made the mistake, and then I just made a mistake the second time. But if the precision finishes before that last hit, before I think he throws his bat or a gun, and it makes contact with the defender, the precision won't count. It's not going to be a guaranteed critical hit. So make sure you keep that, and you throw the special 2 early. You want to make sure the precision's still up. This fight got a little wonky. I've had better fights against Nick Fury. I think part of it's because I'm used to the incinerates. Masacre's incinerates do significant damage. It is a large part of what he does. You want to be really careful. This was thanks to great advice from Onkit. Actually, this is feels like a year or 2 ago. That you don't want Nick Fury to have his anti-miss up when you throw that special 2 in the block. Now that killed him into a second life, which tends to make him. Oh no, actually it didn't. I just got a little bit lucky, if I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, I did. I just got a little bit lucky that he didn't punish me there. So that was a mistake on my part. So don't make that mistake. But as you can see, we just need him to empty out his power here. We need to go for an intercept. We've gotten it. And I'm going to actually do the full 5-hit combo there. That's a little bit of a more advanced technique, but if you're used to Masacre, you can be able to get that down. Normally, I like to do the 4-hit combo, pause, let them block, throw my special 2. But I knew right there I needed the 5th hit to get to my second bar of power. So I went ahead and did it. And with a very slight pause, Nick went and blocked for me. So everything worked out. Now we're going on. And this is actually the final fight of the video. It's a lot of talking today. I didn't realize how much this was going to be when I started, but I think it was worth it and it was fun. And I hope it really helps you. This meta is a blast. I've had so much fun with it. I've played it more than I intended to, because I've just had so much fun. The losing is obviously not fun, but it's just such a good time, and you can just get back in and you can get whole matches done in like 5 and 6 minutes. It's just a really good time. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you get in there and get some good rewards, have a great time with it, and hopefully it ignites your interest in Battlegrounds. We do a general tier list every single month. Me and the MCoC Illuminati and the Spreadsheet Wizards. We've been doing that since before Battlegrounds was even officially in the game. We continue to modify it as the meta advances, new defenders come out, attackers, we learn new things, new champions, the whole thing. And this fight against Thing, this is my last example, and the reason why it was last. I just want to finish it off with the theme of don't give up. If the fight's not going the way you thought it was going to go, or you miss your window of opportunity like I just did there, right? My bat wasn't ignited. I threw the special 2 and Thing basically laughed at me. Keep going. You're going to get your window again. If you keep going, and you might pull off results like that. And the last little bit is, as good as Wanda is on offense, she's not a bad defender. Because remember, she's going to power steal, she's going to stun, she's going to sometimes put on poison when there's a crit. They need to crit you to do damage. This sort of thing can happen for you too. As usual, let me know what we think we got right. Let me know what we think we got wrong. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a blast in season 22. Come stop by the stream and let me know if you are. Take care.